I want to go a little rogue here and shoot for a second. Payton Pritchard. I
Yes.
love what I'm seeing from him.
Yep.
I think he's getting exponentially better.
Yep.
Is he the next version of Avery Bradley? And what I mean by that is that we overvalue, or another team overvalues his importance on a great team, and it goes somewhere else, and he doesn't turn out to be what we thought he was going to be.
Yeah. So when Avery Bradley went to Detroit, I remember myself and many Celtics fans were pissed about that, right?
Yeah.
Because it was like this guy was one of the best on-ball defenders, and he was. You could say men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. Like he was one of the best on-ball defenders that league has seen in some time. At that time, he goes to Detroit. The role isn't as defined. They really weren't in a great situation when he got traded here from here, and we ended up getting Marcus Morris Sr. back in the deal. So, which is what they needed badly at that time, was a stretch four at that time, because you were losing Kelly Olynyk as well to Miami in free agency. So I get that, but it's possible. But I think because Payton Pritchard's best ability is his shot making, that might be able to translate anywhere he goes. And I think we would see things look a little different for him if he became a starter elsewhere. Because I can see another team in a few years saying, well, if he was doing this off the bench at Boston, like, if we gave him 30 minutes a night, he'd get us 21, 6 and 5. And that could very well be true. That would be going into his age 30 season. So I don't know how that would look, him playing elsewhere. But I hope that he's a lifelong Celtic. To me, he reminds me of, and it's funny because he's the one that drafted him, but to me, he's the new age Danny Ainge, right?
Yeah.
Like that. So if people forget, because we didn't see it in his prime, but he's exactly what Danny Ainge was. He's competitive with Danny, all that, in my opinion.
Listen, 100%. The reason why I asked that question is because in this era, I wouldn't era anymore. Our era was like late 90s to 2010s, right?
Yeah.
You don't see a lot of people just settle, not settle, but just become okay with their role as you will be the sixth man of the year on a championship contender every single year.
Right.
That you are. They want to be a starter.
Right.
And more often than not, like we've seen it happen, they're not starters. They're not. Their production, their minutes go up, their production really doesn't.
I mean, look at guys like J.R. Smith, another one. J.R. Smith was a problem, for many years. But his best year came in New York when he averaged 18 a night off the bench and won 6th man of the year. Kenny Smith said it best a long time ago on Inside NBA. And side note, I'm glad that show was brought back because they couldn't lose it. When he said everybody in the NBA has been a star at some point. Everyone in the NBA has been a star at some point, whether it's high school, college, overseas. So when you come into the NBA structure, certain guys that were killing overseas or killing in college, killing in high school may not be into that role in the NBA. So everyone can't be a LeBron, can't be a Harden, can't be a KD, can't be a Westbrook. So you have to finish the role that fits the team the best so that you guys can be successful. And truth be told, that, remember a couple of years ago, Payton Pritchard was still in that same way. Remember, he goes on that podcast. I forget what show it was, but he goes on a podcast and said, oh, I just want to play more. And, but once again, it was now looking back, and that hindsight is always 2020. I get it, right? When you know and feel in your heart that you have put in the work and you can contribute to a team on a nightly basis, especially the team that drafted you and supposedly is supposed to believe in you, right? You say, well, damn, if y'all not rocking with me, let me go and kill it somewhere else. So I'm sure now, with him being a few years older, now a champion, getting a second deal here in Boston, I'm sure now he's looking back and say, thank God I'm not the GM, and thank God I just play on the court, because it worked out better than he could ever expect it, right? Because putting up 23 in Detroit and you going 14 and 68, as opposed to you putting up 13 here, and you'll forever be known for that game 5 shot at the buzzer. And that essentially won the finals. But he hit that shot, the game was over. You know what I'm saying?
It's over.
So you're now in the folklore. You're in that Johnny Damon category. You're in that Mark Bellhorn category. You're in that Bobby Kilty category. That's a name drop for you there. Like, you're in that Shane Victorino category. You're in that category now. So people are gonna forever remember you as someone that did that helped bring the championship here to Boston. So, and that to me, that should always not overweigh, outweigh, excuse me. That should always outweigh going somewhere else and,
Yeah.
being a mediocre player, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah, 100, like 100%. It's one thing to gripe about wanting more minutes when you're averaging 12 or 13 minutes a game and you think that you deserve more. But now that you're averaging the last 2 seasons like 25 minutes a game, and you're seeing like 14 to 16 points a game from him,
Mhm.
like that's who he is,
Yeah.
and
No.
that's a great place to be, to have it in a six man who can hit any shot from any part of the court whenever you need him to.